Hey everyone, I apologize. I'm still waiting on my people. They're still not here. I have only one person here who is on time to do our reading, our reenactment. So just bear with me a second as I get the others here. I'm waiting for them. I send them an email with the link, but no one's in the back. Oh, I have two people in the back now. I'm waiting for two more. We have people in the front, but nobody in the back. Just bear with me, y'all, you guys. And the main person is not here, Mr. Bo Brindley. I don't know why the cars are so noisy outside here. Do you hear a lot of noise over here, guys? Is there a lot of noise? My apologies, guys. I truly apologize because these folks are not here. Two is not here. Put the link in and it's still not here. She's restarting her phone. Okay. Just bear with me a second, guys. Oh my God, it's loud. I see you, Purple Couch. I'm waiting for the other two. I see Mr. Julian and I see Purple Couch. I just don't see Mr. Brentley and the judge. I apologize, guys. Just bear with me. I'm still waiting for my folks to come on in. Just bear with me. I'm waiting for Mr. Brentley, which is Tamiria. I'm still waiting on her. Guys, I truly apologize. All right, I have the judge. The judge is here. I'm still waiting for her because she's doing a cross examination first. Just bear with me a second. It is so loud in here. All right, there she is. There she is. 1 second, y'all. All right, guys. Without further ado, I'm just waiting for Jean. Hold on a second. All right, here we go. All right, we have our Bonjean, we have Mr. Julian, we have the judge, and we have Mr. Brindley. And myself, I am Lisa. I forgot to change my name. Lisa VanAllen. Hold on. Lisa. I think that's a way to spell name. If not, oh well. All right, guys, y'all ready? Here we go. Let them roll. Judge, could you start us with the announcement, please? Thank you so much.
United States of America plaintiff versus Robert Sylvester Kelly, aka Robert R. Kelly, Darrell McDavid, and Milton Brown, aka June Brown, August 25th, 2020.
All right, Mr. Brindley.
Thank you, Your Honor. Miss VanAllen, my name is Bo Brindley, and I represent the defendant, Darrell David. Now, to begin with, I want to ask you some general questions. In general, you would agree that someone who lies about a topic is a person whose words should be doubted. Agreed?
A person whose words should be what?
Doubted.
Would I agree with you?
Yes.
Depends on the circumstance.
Do you think there's okay, let me ask you a different question. A person who lies repeatedly about a subject, is
See, I'm
that
hearing it too many times.
What? Huh?
a person who lies? Do you hear it again? Because I only hear it one time.
I only hear it one time. She must have something in the background. Go ahead. Sorry.
A person who lies under oath about a subject, do you think that's a person who it would be fair to doubt?
I mean, I don't know. I
Don't know. A person who
depends on the circumstance. I don't know.
a person who steals, you think that's the sort of person that ought to be trusted?
Depend on the circumstance. If someone threatens or something like that, it just depends. Depends on the circumstances.
I see. All right. What about a person who forged emotions while lying to manipulate other people?
Can you repeat that?
Is that a person you can trust?
I don't know. What do you mean? Fake
Mm-mm.
emotions? Like who? Who would
This
do that?
you missed the whole line. Okay. Miss VanAllen, have you ever lied about video recordings involving Robert Kelly?
No.
Okay. Have you ever lied under oath? And I take it you're saying you have never lied under oath about videotapes involving Robert Kelly.
I've never lied.
Have you ever lied about your relationship with Robert Kelly?
No.
No.
About our relationship? No.
Yes. Have you ever lied to law enforcement investigators about video recordings involving Robert Kelly?
No.
I want to start. Um, I have some more general questions and I'm going to go into some background, but I want to start right away with one very specific subject and I want to get right to it. You claimed this morning that you actually watched child pornography with my client, Darren McDavid, right?
Yes.
Okay. You watched child pornography with Darren McDavid and you remember it clearly, right?
I remember watching it. Yes.
Okay. And it was memorable event for you, I take, the way it happened. Yes.
I don't know what you mean. Memorable event?
Well, it's just not every day that you're in a situation where you're watching child pornography with someone right before you take a polygraph test, is it?
It's not, no.
No. So
No.
it was so it was memorable. It was a memorable event that you described for us, correct?
I guess so, yes.
And you said this morning you remember how it happened. You were in a hotel room, right?
Yes.
And do you remember what hotel it was, or you don't?
No.
Okay. You were in a hotel room and the tape was given to Daryl McDavid in the hotel room, right?
I mean, I assume. I wasn't present for the transaction of him receiving it. I just know that Keith was there taking a lie detector and I was in the room with him.
Okay. So you were in the room with Daryl McDavid, and that's where the child porn video was watched in the hotel, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you didn't watch child porn with Daryl McDavid in a lawyer's office, did you?
No.
And Mr. McDavid wasn't handed any child porn video in a lawyer's office, was he?
I'm not sure. All I know it
You
he
skipped
popped.
16, Sylvia. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm trying to let people in and they're coming in and out, so that's why I'm losing my spot.
Okay.
I wouldn't know. I wasn't present to exchange of the tape.
Okay. So when you got to the hotel, Mr. McDavid already had the tape?
I'm not sure. All I know he popped it in, so I don't know how.
You're saying you didn't.
Oh my God, it keep popping out. What's wrong with the system? I'm sorry. Um, how they exchange it? I wasn't there for that.
Oh, you didn't see that happened.
I didn't see them exchange it. Him and Keith, no.
I see. Well, Miss Van Allen, it is true that you have spoken with law enforcement investigators about this case on multiple occasions, correct?
Yes,
Law enforcement investigators have spoken to you here in Chicago, correct?
yes.
Law enforcement investigators have spoken to you in New York, correct?
In New York.
Or from New York. You're right. I shouldn't have said in. I should have said from. You're right. From investigators from New York, right?
Yes.
Okay. And one of these discussions with investigators happened around March the 7th of 2019. Does that sound about right to you?
I wouldn't know what date. I just know I did speak with some.
All right. If I was to show you a report just for you to look at, could that refresh your memory as to the date?
Would that do something I signed?
I'm not saying you signed it.
I don't know. I don't know. If it refreshes my memory without seeing it,
Well, let me ask you this. March of 2019, does that sound like it? I'm not asking you for a specific date, but did you talk to investigators around that time? You can agree to that, I'm sure.
I did talk to investigators a couple of years ago, yes.
And in March of 2019, what you told the investigators about this meeting that you're saying you were at with Mr. McDavid in March, what you told the investigators was Keith Morrell met Daryl McDavid at Kelly's attorney's office in downtown Chicago, where Van Allen and Morrell gave McDavid the tape. That's what you said to investigators in March of 2019, right?
I don't understand what you're implying.
I'm implying anything. I'm not implying anything, Miss Van Allen. I'm asking you if this is what you said. Now,
I don't recall that saying. I don't recall saying that.
that's fine.
So
So
I'm
I'm
not sure. I'm not sure.
so I'm not sure. Oh,
That
that's
was
me.
me.
I'm
That
sorry.
was me.
I was sorry. That's what I said. I said that's fine. You said I'm not sure. Okay. Then I'm going to let you take a look at a report of your interview and see if that refreshes your memory.
How can I give them the tape if I didn't have it?
Miss Van Allen, no. I just need you to answer my questions and my questions only. Wait for the question, okay? My question is not about what you did or didn't do. What you did or didn't do. Now, you've already said that my question is about what you said or did not say to the law enforcement office in March of 2019. So first of all, I'm going to show you what has been I'm going to call defense defense McDavid defense exhibit 16, and you can just see that. You can see that in front of you on the screen, correct?
Hold on a second. I was told to stop for a minute.
Okay.
Mute yourself. You got some noise going on in the back. Tamiri, mute yourself.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I gotta get over here on this other screen.
Okay, she said get the lights up, y'all. Okay, you know she's not going to let me move unless you guys get those likes up. She's the meanie. It's not me. All right, she said we can go ahead. All right, let's go. Let's go. All right, let's go.
I forgot where I was at. Let me see.
You were at the 16,
Is it okay? 13,
15.
15. Okay. And you see that Defense Exhibit McDavid 16 is an interview report regarding Lisa VanAllen from March the 7th, 2019. Do you see that?
Yes.
All right. And you understand from your experience with these agents and whatnot over the years, you understand they make reports of what you say, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to show you page 6 of that report and let you take a look at it, beginning here and with the word subsequently. I don't know why I can't say that. Read silently to yourself until you get to the word money here. Just read it to yourself. You've now been able to read it.
Yes.
Okay. And so, Miss VanAllen, it's true that on that day you told those agents that you met McDavid at Kelly's hotel office in downtown Chicago, where you and Keith Morrell gave him a VHS tape. That's what you told them back then, right?
That wasn't my statement. That was just their wording.
Okay. You're not suggesting, I hope that you think that the agents are misreap. I just want to make sure I'm understanding. Are you suggesting that the agents are misrepresenting what you told them?
No.
Okay. Now, that wasn't the only time that you spoke to agents and law enforcement officers about this case, was it?
No.
You had conversations with agents from Chicago, an agent named Amelia Molina. Do you remember her?
Not specifically.
But you remember speaking to an agent in Chicago, right?
Yes.
From from Chicago.
Yes.
And you spoke to the agent from Chicago after you spoke to the agent from New York, right?
I'm
Does
not
that sound
I'm not sure.
right to you?
Not sure what order.
Okay. Well, we just talked about March 7th, 2019. On April 26th, 2019, isn't it true? If you don't remember, you can take a look. That March the 26th, 2019. You're right. I made a mistake there. April 26th of 2019, you told agents from Chicago Homeland Security that with respect to this claim about Mr. McDavid and the videotape, you told the Chicago agents in April that you and Keith Morrell went to an office on Jackson Street in Chicago where you met with McDavid at an attorney's office. You recall that you were driven there by Mr. McDavid's assistant, June Brown, and you recall that you watched the videotape with Mr. McDavid in the attorney's office. Do you recall saying that to the agents from Chicago?
Objective form of this question is compound.
Well, not really. She can disregard with that, but I do not see anything particularly wrong with the form.
So, Ms. VanAllen, I'll ask you, did you tell the agents from Chicago that you recall watching the video in an attorney's office with Daryl McDavid? Do you remember that?
I don't remember.
I'm going to do the same thing we did before so you can take a look at it. You see this in Defendant McDavid's Exhibit 17. You can see this is a report of an interview with you, Lisa VanAllen, April 26, 2019. You see that, correct?
Your Honor, if this is impeachment, I'm going to
It is not.
object. Okay.
You recognize that, correct? You see that?
I see it.
Okay. Now I'm going to show you a portion of the report from that day. I'm going to ask you to read it silently to yourself. Then let me know when you're finished. This is the portion beginning. VanAllen said that she and Morrell were interviewed at the attorney's office, and you can stop reading after that name, McDavid, here. Is it my turn?
Muriel.
Do you see it? Did you read it?
I see it, yeah.
And you've read it now.
Huh?
And now you've read it, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now you will agree that in April of 2019, you told federal agents that you watched a video with Mr. McDavid in a lawyer's office in Chicago, right?
It seems that that's what I said, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, well,
There's no crime against not remembering something.
no, 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 no.
Because I did watch it in a hotel room as well. So,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute now. You testified earlier that there's only one time you watched the video with Mr. McDavid, right?
I don't recall watching it in the office. I don't.
I understand. I understand. But you agree with me certainly that you only watched the child porn with the man one time, right?
I don't recall watching it again.
Okay.
Other than that hotel room.
Okay. And okay. And you've agreed with me that now you said on two occasions you were watching it in an attorney's office, right?
Objection. If this is impeachment, she has not adopted those statements, Your Honor.
Well, she
I think she has.
hasn't said that. She believes that what it says, I guess it's what she said.
Those aren't her statements, Your Honor. That's my objection.
Let me put it to you this way. You're not disputing at this point that on two separate occasions you told two separate groups of federal agents that you watched the videotape and saw the videotape hand over at some lawyer's office. You're not disputing that you said that now, are you?
I said I don't remember.
Well, just a minute ago, you told me that it appears that you said that. Do you recall that?
I said I don't remember.
Okay, that's fine. But you also came in here and gave testimony before a grand jury in Chicago, right?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Under oath testimony that was, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this under oath testimony in Chicago, when that took place before you went into the grand jury, you signed a grand jury statement, right?
Yes.
And you confirmed that the entire content of the grand jury statement was correct, right?
Repeat that.
You confirmed with your signature that you had read everything in the grand jury statement, and the grand jury statement was correct, right?
I guess so. Yeah. I mean,
And that statement was then read to you in a grand jury, and you agreed on the oath that it was true.
yeah, but I did say in there that the best of my knowledge.
Huh?
I didn't say.
That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine. Okay. I'm just asking. In this grand jury statement, that you gave under oath here in Chicago, it also made reference to what you've claimed about watching child porn with McDavid, right?
We watched it. We
minute.
watch child
13.
porn.
13, Sylvia.
I definitely did watch child porn with Daryl McDavid. Yes, if that's what you're getting at.
That's not what I asked you.
We watch it. We watch child porn.
Miss VanAllen, what's going to happen is you're going to listen to my question and you're only going to answer that. That's what's going to happen, okay? So you, in your grand jury testimony, you talked about this meeting you claimed happened, that now you're saying it is at a hotel where you watched the video with Daryl McDavid, right?
I did watch it.
No. That's not my question. Again, my question is, in your grand jury under oath testimony, you talked about this incident, didn't you?
I talked about which incident. Which one? Because
The incident of you. Which one have we talked about so far?
you're saying something about a lawyer's office. Judge.
Wait. Hold the phone. Wait for the question and the answer, and then answer the question.
The incident we're talking about is when you contend that you watched child pornography with Mr. Kelly's accountant and business manager. That's what we're talking about. You understand the subject matter, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you signed a grand jury statement. What you said in the grand jury statement was as followed about this incident. You said, with respect to Keith Morrell, he still had the tape. Well, actually, I'll just show it to you. Make this easier for you so there's no confusion. I'm going to show you what we're marked as McDavid Defense Exhibit 18. McDavid Exhibit 18 is the grand jury statement of Lisa VanAllen. That's you, right?
Yes.
Something make you particularly sad about your grand jury testimony?
Yes. Because I'm tired of saying that I watch child pornography. Yes, I watch child pornography because I gave it to him.
Yeah. Okay. That's all fine, Miss VanAllen. You asked the question. Oh, I'm sorry.
You asked the question.
Let's judge.
Wait.
Miss VanAllen, let's stick to the questions here.
Listen to the question and answer the question.
So your grand jury statement of Lisa VanAllen, you recognize that, correct?
Yes.
And then let's look at the last page, your signature. Lisa VanAllen, you signed that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you dated it, right?
Yes.
And when you signed it, the point was to indicate that everything you were saying in it was true, right?
To my knowledge, if you read the last paragraph.
Yeah, okay.
I noticed the voice change, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, okay, to your knowledge.
Read the last paragraph.
Fine, to your knowledge. So, to your knowledge and under oath, you swore to the following in front of that grand jury in this building. Page 9 for counsel, leading into page 10. After that meeting with Robert, Is it me? Oh yeah.
It's you.
I contacted Keith. He was afraid to deal directly with Robert. He still had the tape and he agreed to fly to Chicago with me to return the tape. This was the spring of 2007. When we got to Chicago, Robert's personal assistant, June Brown, drove us to an attorney's office on Jackson Street in downtown Chicago. Then it talks about where
You
that.
heard that, right? I heard that. She putting both of them in the same car. Okay, just remember that.
Mhm. Then it talks about where the office is located. Then you said to the grand jury, when we got to the building, Keith and I met Darryl McDavid in an attorney's office. Next sentence, Darryl and I watched the videotape with that Keith brought to the Chicago. You see where you said that in front of a grand jury under oath? Do you see that?
I
You
see it.
agree?
I see it.
That was written in your grand jury statement.
Yes, but it was to the best of my knowledge. And we didn't ride together. It was Keith and I went. It doesn't say we were in the same vehicle. We rode together.
I'm not talking about vehicles.
I'm just saying.
Take another look at it. What it says is when we got to the building, Keith and I met Daryl in an attorney's office. Daryl and I watched the videotape that Keith brought to Chicago. That's what it says in your grand jury statement that you signed and adopted, correct?
It says that, yes.
Yeah. And what it doesn't say is anything about this hotel room story. That's not in there at all, is it?
It doesn't say it. That doesn't mean that it didn't happen.
I didn't ask you that.
It doesn't say it.
For whatever reason, it's not in here, right?
How many times I need to say we watch a tape? No,
I'm not asking you that.
it's not in there. No.
Okay, there we go. And actually, if you remember back to your testimony from this morning, if you want to meter back with me, what you said this morning when he first asked you was we went to a lawyer's office and then all of a sudden you changed it. You started talking about a hotel. Do you remember that happening this morning?
I don't.
Forgot that?
No, I don't recall.
All right. It could happen. Here.
It could happen,
Here.
but I don't remember saying that. What's wrong with what's wrong with saying we?
Here's the problem, Ms. VanAllen. The reason that the attorney's office has disappeared from your testimony is because you did go to the attorney's office. Keith did deliver a videotape, but he didn't deliver it to Darryl McDavid. That's the truth, right?
Sorry, my thing would hold on a second. Somebody's trying to come in. Hold on. This thing keep acting up. Okay, sorry. I don't feel like it's different. It's just I didn't remember the same stuff. And I said to
Wait a
my
minute.
what?
Line 21.
It's definitely not. That's not a lie.
Well, you would agree with me, certainly, that what we have just been through in your conversation with the agents in the case and your under oath testimony from the grand jury in this building, what we have just gone through here is different than what you told us about this event this morning, isn't it? I don't remember nothing.
I don't feel like it's different. It's just I didn't remember the same stuff. And I said, to my recollection and to my memory.
Yeah, to your recollection.
That's why you, that's why you said that, because you don't remember everything from 30 years ago.
Right, but
I do remember Daryl was there.
yeah, yes, I see that. Well, we'll talk more about the places you say there was and was not. But we talked a little bit about this meeting and your memory of that event. Let's talk about a few other things. You made you have made money from your relationship with with R. Kelly, haven't you?
Paid money. I wasn't given money.
I was given.
I was given money. Come on, don't do that.
You wrote a book about your relationship with Robert Kelly, right?
I wrote a book about my life. It's not just about Rob.
Okay. Well, a large portion of that book is about Mr. Kelly and your interactions with him, right?
Yeah, we dated 9 years, yes.
Yeah. And on the book, when the book is summarized on the back, it prominently features information about Mr. Kelly, right?
Yes.
And so this book is for sale for money, right?
Most books are, yes.
That's right. I bought the book. So you probably got some of my money, right?
If you bought it, the book, thank you.
Yes. And so the point of that is that, yes, indeed, you are, and you have made money off your relationship with Mr. Kelly. True, right?
I made money off of my book.
Your book that is in large part about your relationship with Robert Kelly.
Objection. Asked and answered.
Right. It's not really been answered. That's the problem.
She can answer it again.
A book that is enlarged about your relationship with Mr. Kelly, right?
Yes.
And you have been featured on a television show, a documentary series that's called Surviving R. Kelly, right?
Yes.
And you were on the show talking about your relationship with Mr. Kelly and what happened with Mr. Kelly, right?
Yes.
So you got to be on TV with that, right?
I don't think it's a good thing that I got to be.
Well, you weren't compelled to appear on a documentary series called Surviving R. Kelly, were you?
What do you mean? Could you rephrase the question?
Daryl McDavid, let's make sure. Daryl McDavid didn't threaten you and insist that you go on on the show Surviving R. Kelly, did he?
I don't understand the relevance.
Were you My point is, were you compelled? You were not coerced. You were not threatened or forced to appear on this television show Surviving R. Kelly, were you?
No, why would I be forced to raise awareness?
Yes, awareness indeed.
I love doing that.
I know. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the things about which you raise awareness on that show in specific. But to begin with, you had, as you testified earlier, you had threesomes, meaning situations where you and Robert had sex with a third person on multiple occasions, right?
Yes.
You had threesomes with Robert, and you talked about Jane today. But in fact, you had threesome with Robert Kelly and other people besides Jane, right?
Yes.
You had threesomes with Robert Kelly and adult women too, right?
Yes.
And you understand that these things were being videotaped, of course, because you said you saw the camera, right?
If they were videotaped, yes.
And you indicated, if I understand you correctly, that you did not refuse to be videotaped when you saw the camera, right?
No.
And you said that these videotapes, they were contained in some sort of duffel bag that Mr. Carried, correct?
Yes.
And what you said, and what you have said, as I understand you today, is that there came a time when Mr. Kelly was not around. In his absence, you reached into that duffel bag, right?
Yes.
And you started going through the videotapes, right?
Yes.
You claim that you started watching them one tape after another, as I understand it, right?
Yeah. Anytime any of them with me, any
10,
any
Sophia.
of them with me, excuse me,
10.
I popped some in, yes.
And your goal, if I heard you correctly, was to, or if I understand you correctly, was to see if you could find the one that had you on it, right?
Yeah, any of them with me in it, yes.
Because there were multiple tapes, you said, that had you on them, right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Tapes of you and adults, and you said tapes of you and Jane too, according to you, right?
Yes.
All right. Now you found one that you said contained in part at least footage of you and Robert having sex with Jane at the same time, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you said, as I understand it, that you took the videotapes, right?
Yes.
You didn't have his permission. You didn't have his knowledge. You didn't have his knowledge, but you took it, right?
Yes.
And you took it because, as I understand it, your primary concern when you took it was to make sure nobody was ever going to get to see this videotape of you and what you found out, but didn't know, according to your testimony, that there was a video of you having sex with a 14-year-old girl.
I didn't want him watching the tape.
You didn't want Robert watching it?
Yes. I didn't agree with what happened. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to him watching it.
And in fact, you said before that you wanted to make sure that no one ever got to see that tape, right?
Yes, I wouldn't have wanted it out in the media or anything like that ever.
Okay. So then I want to understand something. You have the tape, you take it out of the duffel of the bag, and you leave it. You leave with it, right?
Yes.
So you have the tape in your possession when Mr. Kelly was not there, right?
Yes.
You had the tape in your possession when, as far as you could tell, Mr. Kelly did not know that you had it, right?
I didn't think so. He shouldn't have.
Okay. So at that point in time, as you had this tape in your sole control and possession, you could do anything you wanted with it, right?
Right.
Mr. Kelly wasn't there to stop you at all, right?
Yes.
Miss Van Allen, if your goal in taking Mr. Kelly's tape was really to prevent anybody from seeing it, you could have simply destroyed the tape while it was in your sole control and possession, couldn't you?
I could if that crossed my mind.
So you were so worried that you wanted to make sure he couldn't watch the tape, that no one could see the tape, that you stole the tape. But it did not cross your mind to get rid of it, to destroy it. That's your testimony?
No, I didn't. It didn't.
Okay. Okay. If you destroyed the tape, you and I could agree then certainly no one, including Mr. Kelly, would ever be able to see it again, right?
Yeah, if it was destroyed, of course.
But instead of destruction, you decided that you were going to, as I understand what you said, send the tape to someone else, right?
Yes.
Sent the tape to this man, Keith Morrell, right?
Yes.
Keith Morrell, who you know is a man who has a relationship to other individuals by the name to another individual by the name of Charles or Chuck Freeman, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when the goal in when the goal in mind was to prevent anyone else from sending the tape, you took the tape you had in your sole control and you gave it to some other guy, right?
A friend of mine. Yes.
Now, I do want to digress for a minute before we go on and say you agree that no man from Georgia ever snatched the tape from you, right?
No.
22.
No.
It's 22, Sylvia.
No. No. Just keep going, Tamir.
You were never in possession of multiple R. Kelly sex tapes and had one of them taken away by somebody in Atlanta, right?
Let's just stop.
Are we ending the live?
Check the message, and also she's trying to get the numbers up. We're gonna still read it. It's just that we're gonna get the numbers up. We're still gonna read. Okay, you got 100. All right, let's go. No. Number 4.
No tape that you had was ever taken down to Atlanta, as far as you know, right?
Not that I had.
Right. And you know Chuck Freeman only because you know that he's connected to Keith Morrell, right?
Yes.
You?
He is an associate through Keith.
Yeah. You certainly would not ever say that you were friends with Chuck Freeman, right?
He's an associate through Keith.
He wasn't a friend of yours, though?
It depends on how I'm sorry. It depends on how you're using that word.
Okay, well,
Like, no, we didn't go to lunch together or to the mall or
you certainly never, whatever your relationship was with Mr. Freeman, you certainly never told him any story about a guy from Georgia taking a tape from you, right?
did I tell Mr. Freeman about a guy taking a tape from me?
And taking it to Georgia.
No.
Okay. And so you never told Mr. Freeman the name of someone in Georgia that would have a tape that you had?
No.
Correct.
No. I never told Mr. Freeman about a guy in Georgia having a tape.
But at one point, Keith Morrell did suggest to you that Chuck Freeman might somehow have a copy of your tape, didn't he?
That's what he said that Chuck implied.
In fact, the truth of the matter is that Keith Morrell, according to you, asked Charles Freeman to hold onto a copy of your tape. Isn't that true?
I wouldn't know anything about that.
You wouldn't?
That's news to me.
Okay. You remember, in addition to speaking from federal agents in New York, or from New York and federal agents from Chicago, you also spoke to some folks, investigators from the Cook County State's Attorney Office about these matters, correct?
I'm not sure when this was.
In Georgia, some folks from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office came down to Georgia, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation headquarters, and met with you in February of 2019. Do that sound about right?
Yes.
Okay. And when you were meeting with these folks in Georgia about the events related to this videotape. One second, Miss VanAllen. In Georgia, did you tell the Cook County State's Attorney's investigators that it could have been Chuck Freeman who made copies of the tape after Keith Morrell asked him to maintain the tape for a period of time? Did you tell the investigators that?
I could have. After the Facebook conversation with Keith, yes, he said that Chuck was looking for me.
Okay. But in fact, what you told them was that Keith Morrell asked Chuck to maintain the tape for a period of time. So then Keith Morrell told you, apparently, according to you, that he was asking Chuck to maintain a copy of your tape for some unknown reason. Wow.
Actually, I'm going to object to the foundation of this at this time for this.
I suppose I can lay some foundation. That's fine. When you spoke to investigators and you said that Keith Morrell had asked Chuck to maintain the tape for a period of time, you were speaking to them around February of 2019, right?
When I spoke to the Bureau of Investigation,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. And when you were speaking to them, you told them about this incident of Keith Morrell asking Chuck to maintain the tapes for a period of time. This was after you had some sort of Facebook conversation, message conversation with Keith about Chuck, right?
I assume so.
Okay. And that had happened around the same time in February of 2019. Does that sound right to you?
If I said anything about Chuck having a copy of the tape, it would have been after that Facebook message. Yes.
But you can't give us any insight into why Keith would be asking Chuck to maintain a copy of some kind of your tape that was yours. Do you know, right?
I don't know. I don't.
So the tape that you're talking about that has this scene of you and Jane and Robert together, you do not have any copy of this tape yourself, right?
No.
You have never turned a copy of that tape over to law enforcement to demonstrate what is on it, correct?
You mean me personally or myself?
Yes.
Turn it over?
Yes.
No.
This tape with you and Robert and Jane that you claim to have, your explanation of what is on the tape is here in this court. Your word, agreed?
I don't understand what you're asking me.
I'm asking, you don't have the tape to show us what's on it. So we have to rely on what you tell us is on it. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I mean,
All right. So then you would agree with me that the consistency of what you have said about the contents of this tape could be important, right?
yes.
All right. Now, I remember this morning, and it was very emotional for you to describe what you saw in these scenes. So obviously, they're memorable to you. Memorable to you. I want to go through in some summary quickly what you saw. There was the scene with the threesome scene was one of three that you saw on the tape, right?
Yes.
So the tape that you had one scene with Robert and Jane by themselves on a black and white checkerboard floor, right?
Yes.
And it had one scene, same tape, of Robert and Jane alone in a bedroom of some kind, right?
Yes.
And it had a third scene, some tape of the three of you together, right?
Yes.
And you have no doubt giving your testimony this morning that this is indeed the content of the tape that you possessed, right?
That I possessed?
You did in the past. The one that you stole from Robert had all three scenes on it. You have no doubt about that, correct?
The one that I got? Yes.
Okay.
It had all three scenes.
Right. And the order of the scenes was the first scene was just Robert and Jane, correct?
I assume so, yeah.
And
I know I was the last scene.
that's what you saw when you saw the videotape.
I saw Robert and Jane. Yes.
The first scene you see on the videotape that you stole from Robert is Robert and Jane alone, correct? On that.
That
Black and white floor.
yeah, I saw that. That I saw.
That you saw.
Yeah. Yes.
And so for the first scene that you saw on the tape that you took, to be clear, Robert and Jane together by themselves, just the two of them. on the black and white floor you described, right? Hold on, Stephen. Okay, go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Something got in my eye. Second scene on the tape that you took from Robert and that you saw is Robert and Jane alone in some bedroom, right?
Yes.
And then the third scene, the final scene that you saw on the tape was you and Robert and Jane in this log cabin room, right?
Yes.
All right. You mentioned earlier, Miss VanAllen, that you had given testimony previously at another trial about Mr. Kelly, right?
Yes.
That trial took place in 2008, correct?
Yes.
And during that trial, you were asked questions about this tape that you took, right?
Yes.
And you were asked questions about what you saw, right?
Yes.
And you were also asked questions about another tape of just Robert and blank in the log cabinet room and that was showed to you, right?
That showed me in the court, you mean?
Yeah, the state's attorney showed it to you and you said that's Robert and that's blank.
They said the word, that person's name on that.
Rashonda.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
That wasn't on your tape.
The
Your Honor, can we have a sidebar?
Oh my God. I'm sorry. That was a mistake, Judge.
It will be quick, Judge. It will be fairly quick what I need to say.
We'll need to redact that sentence.
Go ahead, Mr. Brindley, continue.
Thank you. Jane, I'm sorry, Jane. You there was a tape of Robert and Jane in the log cabinet room that was on the tape you stole, right?
not the
The scene that showed you that wasn't on your tape, right?
right.
Okay. And during your testimony before the Cook County jury under oath about the tape and what you saw, did you give this testimony? That's the first time I saw that tape of a copy of that tape. I have never seen a tape with just Robert and Rashana. Damn it. With just Robert and Jane.
Can we have a brief sidebar, Your Honor?
Same thing, Your Honor.
Yes, same thing.
I'm reading.
Yeah, okay. Be careful.
Yes, Judge. I'm sorry. I have never seen a tape. I'm reading. I have never seen a tape with just Robert and Jane, only me and Jane. Do you remember giving that testimony?
I don't recall when was this? When was this?
When you testified in front of the jury in 2008.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Judge. For the record, I do want to make that same motion, and Mr. Brindley can continue. The one we made a sidebar the last time. I don't want to interrupt, but I just want to make sure.
We agreed to it, Judge.
Yeah.
So he's right.
All right. He agreed. Okay. Same.
Yeah. So I'm going to show this to you. Just to you. And don't read the real name that's printed in the transcript so we don't have that happen. I don't want that to happen again. That was my fault. This is defendant McDavis exhibit 20. This is from the testimony before the Cook County grand jury. No trial. I'm sorry, not grand jury, the Cook County trial jury of Robert Kelly in 2008. Do you remember testifying right there, right?
Your Honor, again, sorry to interrupt. Given the way the monitors are set up, I just want to ask if Mr. Brindley wouldn't mind just handing a copy to her.
I thought it just for the attorney. It is.
It's just her and us that was looking at it.
It's just the way that the monitors are set up in the room, Your Honor. That's what I'm getting at. Even if Mr. Brindley's just showing it to the witness, there are people in the room who can see it.
Wham, 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 crybaby.
Mm-hmm. Take your pen and do something with it, whatever he wants. If you could just show her page 21 of the cross-examination, we'll make it easy. So I don't have to cut up at any more strips of this paper.
All right. Document tendered.
Where am I at? Okay.
Now, in front of the Cook County jury for Robert Kelly in 2008, did you give the following testimony? I have never seen a tape with just Robert and Jane, only me, Robert, and Jane. Do you see where you gave that testimony? That testimony was read correctly, right?
I'm trying to. I don't recall saying that. That's why I'm rereading it.
I understand.
I don't recall saying only.
What the transcripts of the trial testimony you gave says is, I never have seen a tape with just Jane and Robert, only me, Jane, and Robert. That's what the transcript from Cook County reads.
I think it was worded incorrectly.
Huh?
Because I think I was saying what I was saying was the tape with me,
Miss VanAllen.
Rob, and Rashana. Not the tape was just him and her.
Miss VanAllen.
That's when they had before at the trial.
Miss VanAllen. Miss VanAllen.
That's what I was saying.
Okay, my question was.
I knew I told the truth.
My question was about the transcript by the court.
Right. She cut him off. I'm sorry.
And Cook County reads, I've never seen a tape with just Robert and Jane. Only me, Robert and Jane. That's what it reads, correct?
Yes, but I stated it incorrectly. It was what I'm saying. They were arguing back and forth.
Now you're saying maybe you state it incorrectly this time.
Yes, I meant the tape with me.
Okay.
Robert and Rashana on it, not the one with just him and her.
Your Honor, can we have a sidebar again?
This dude here.
No. What do we need a sidebar? Go on.
Your Honor, we really do need to have a sidebar.
Proceedings had at the sidebar.
Now, we talked a minute ago about the order of scenes on the tape that you took in. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. This is important.
Go ahead. You just talk. Hey guys, let me tell y'all something. It was a shouting match back and forth, and the reporter kept saying, "One at a time." I'm trying to get this. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was crazy. They was going back and forth. Yes, wasn't a hill of beans. It was going back and forth. It was so funny. Brindley was trying to get it in there. And they kept saying Rashana's name. If you notice, all the the blackout, they kept saying the name. They kept like, oop.
It's not a secret.
It's not a secret. It was on the first trial when she was younger. So why are they trying to hide it now?
Exactly.
It's crazy. You
You
wanna
want?
keep reading?
Yeah.
Okay. You gonna take her part?
Yeah.
Okay,
Now,
Gaga.
we talked a minute ago about the order of the scenes on the tape that you took and that you saw. Do you remember that?
Um.
One.
Yes. Say that again, please.
Yeah. A minute ago, we talked about the
Hold on.
order
Hold
of.
on. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. It's so loud outside. Go ahead.
A minute ago, we talked about the order of the scenes that you saw on the tape that you took, right? Remember that?
Yeah, we talked about that. Yes.
Yeah. And just to review, the first one is Robert and Jane only. The second one is Robert and Jane only. And then the third one is the three of you. That's what you contended, correct?
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay. When you went to the federal grand jury in your grand jury statement, you gave them the same order of scenes. Robert and Rashana only first, Robert and Jane only second, and third, all three of you. And
Excuse.
yes, we can seal that part, Judge. I agree. So you agree that the order you gave to the grand jury too.
To the best of my knowledge.
Okay, but you also said, and we talked about a little while ago that you were interviewed on a show called Surviving R. Kelly, right?
Yes.
And there are multiple episodes on that show, Surviving R. Kelly, right?
Yes.
And you remember one called Episode 3, the sex tape scandal.
I mean, I don't know what specific episode was that. What?
I'm asking, do you? Okay. There are multiple episodes and you were on more than one.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, the episode 3, the sex tape scandal on television on Netflix, did you describe the videotape that you took from Robert as follows? And taking the videotape, did you say it was just a whole bunch of different tapes with him having sex with different young girls, I guess, and women? But I came across the one with me, him and the 14-year-old. I watched it, and as I fast forward some, I see other scenes with just him and her without me. Did you say that on Surviving R. Kelly?
Um. I sure I did. I'm sure I did. I mean, I have. I may have. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, just to be sure, Miss VanAllen, would you like to watch that portion and see
The tape.
the show?
Oh, why would I need to watch it? Why would I? What would be the reason?
I just want to make sure that you're not going to say you don't remember. You did say this on Surviving R. Kelly. I came across the one I came across the one with me, him and the 14-year-old. I watched it, and as I fast forwarded some, I see other scenes with just him and her without me. Do you agree you said that on Surviving R. Kelly?
I mean, I know I did talk about the tape. I don't know exactly what I said verbatim. No, I don't know that.
Then you need to watch it so that you can refresh your memory. Agree?
If you think so.
Okay. Judge, if we could get whichever input, which input is it?
Defense one.
Defense one. And if we could play it for the witness, we don't have any sound. Hold on. Your Honor, if what he's trying to do, Mr. Brindley, is refresh your recollection, I'm going to object to them playing the sound. It looks like it's closed caption. He can play the words, but the jury. If we could have, if we could have closed captioning, and it's accurate, we can.
All right, fine.
We can do that.
Fine. Take it down.
No. She can watch it and see the words on it without the audio if he has a problem with the audio.
Okay.
As long as we can make that disappear, but we have to make that play disappear. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to. It's not going to do anything for us. Oh, there we go. You see what it said on Surviving R. Kelly?
Say what? Yes, what?
And that you there that's saying those words, correct?
Yes. Yes.
So on Surviving R. Kelly, you can take it down. On Surviving R. Kelly, you said, I came across the one with me, him, and the 14-year-old. I watched it, and as I fast forward some, I see the other scenes with him and her only. You just agreed with me that you did say that on the show, right? Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Sylvia.
Is she going in and out, or is it just me, guys? I don't know how she said.
You can't hear me, Sylvia?
I hear you now.
Oh, did y'all hear me read?
Yeah.
I was reading.
Yeah.
No, you were going in and out.
I wasn't going in and out.
I heard you read. Yeah, they said you was. She said stop.
She said stop. She want us to stop? Okay.
See the message right there, Tamiria? All right, the system has a problem today because it's people coming in and out. It's I don't know what's going on here. She keeps getting kicked out.
You going?
She said stop. She's trying to get the numbers up. I'm about to stop anyway because I got to get up in the morning. Guys, let's just end it here.
Okay, and we'll resume back tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am.
And scene.
Yeah, same stuff. What page are we on?
Okay.
What page are we on? 1927. What line? Let's just start from the beginning. 1927. We're going to start from the beginning, 1927. All right, good people. I hope tomorrow you guys start hitting the like button because we're just going to shut it down. If not, because we okay. Good night, everybody. Good night, readers. Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Good night.
night.